When a serial killer murders his pregnant fiancée and dismembers her body, a secret agent makes a choice that will haunt them both. He doesn't kill him. Instead, he forces the killer to swallow a GPS tracking capsule and becomes an invisible god of vengeance, appearing every time the monster tries to kill again. He breaks bones, slashes tendons, breaking his body piece by piece. It's torture disguised as mercy. But the killer is smarter than he looks. He finds the tracker and excretes it, and now he's coming for everyone the agent loves. What started as calculated revenge becomes a savage game of who breaks first, and when the agent finally gets his monster strapped under a guillotine, the cruelest twist isn't how the killer dies, it's who pulls the cord. If you love twisted thrillers like this, tap subscribe. You won't want to miss what's next. The movie opens with a young woman, Ju-yeon, sitting in her car, stranded in the middle of nowhere, her tire punctured and stuck in the snow. However, she couldn't care less as she's lost in a love call with her fiancé, Kim Soo-hyun, who is a NIS officer. She excitedly shares the details of her day, unaware of the danger approaching. Soo-hyun apologizes for missing her birthday as duty calls. Just then, a man named Jang Kyung-chul pulls up and inquires if she needs help. She tells him her tire is flat but assures him that a tow truck is already on the way. Kyung-chul, undeterred, decides to check the tire himself. Soo-hyun, on the phone, warns Ju-yeon to lock the doors and wait safely for the tow truck. Once the call ends, Kyung-chul returns, now telling her that her car is stuck deeper in the snow. Ju-yeon thanks him, reassuring him that she will wait for the tow truck. Kyung-chul smiles before turning and heading back to his car, but Ju-yeon notices he's not leaving. He's just sitting there. She begins to panic. Kyung-chul suddenly starts walking toward her car, and she frantically tries to start the engine. Without warning, he attacks, breaking the car's window. Ju-yeon tries to escape, but he catches her, hitting her with a hammer, knocking her unconscious. He drags her out of the car and takes her to his place. Ju-yeon slowly regains consciousness, finding herself bound in a plastic bag. Weakly, she pleads for her life, but Kyung-chul shows no mercy. He ties a chain to her wrist, the other end attached to a wooden pole. As he examines her body, Ju-yeon trembles, telling him she's pregnant, begging him to spare her life. But her words fall on deaf ears. With a swift strike, Kyung-chul severs her head, dismembers her body, and places the parts in a box. Amid this gruesome act, her engagement ring falls off and rolls into a nearby drain. Kyung-chul searches briefly but abandons it and scatters her body parts into a local stream. The next day, a young boy playing in the field stumbles upon some of Ju-yeon's body parts and raises the alarm. A large search party and the police, led by Section Chief Oh, swarm the area. Ju-yeon's father arrives, frantic to see the scene for himself. Chief Oh insists he should go home and promises to keep him updated, but he can't bear to leave. After hours of searching, they find the head. A forensic officer calls for further analysis. They quickly wrap it and head for the car. However, the curious crowd chases after the officer, causing him to trip and the head to tumble from its box. Ju-yeon's father is horrified to confirm it's Ju-yeon's head. His hopes that she might at least be alive are completely shattered. Soo-hyun arrives much later to the chaos. He fights back tears, sensing the gravity of the situation. Ju-yeon's father, Chief Jong, is crushed. Despite his years of service as a cop, he couldn't protect his own daughter. At Ju-yeon's funeral, Soo-hyun makes a solemn vow to her. He will ensure her killer suffers the same fate. He requests 2 weeks off from his boss, who offers him more time. But Soo-hyun insists on just 2 weeks. With the help of his subordinate, Soo-hyun acquires a capsule equipped with a GPS tracking capsule and a microphone. He learns from Ju-yeon's father that there are 4 main suspects who have committed similar crimes. That night, Soo-hyun embarks on a hunt for her killer. He enters the home of the first suspect and attacks him, but after interrogating him, Soo-hyun realizes he's not the one and leaves him badly injured. Soo-hyun then tracks the second suspect to a remote location and knocks him down with his car. He beats him, showing a picture of Ju-yeon, demanding answers about her murder. However, he soon realizes the second suspect isn't involved either. Meanwhile, that same night, Kyung-chul spots a girl waiting for a taxi and offers her a ride. Reluctantly, she accepts, and after a short drive, he stops on a deserted road. With one violent strike, he knocks her unconscious and dismembers her body. Kyung-chul quickly becomes Soo-hyun's prime suspect, but locating him proves difficult. Soo-hyun tracks down Kyung-chul's parents, learning that he abandoned them and his son years ago. Soo-hyun manages to get Kyung-chul's address from his son. He arrives at a dilapidated house on the outskirts and sneaks inside. There, he discovers a locked cabinet filled with accessories from women Kyung-chul must have murdered. When he opens a door, he stumbles upon Kyung-chul's slaughterhouse. Among the horrors, he finds Joo-yeon's ring lodged in the floor drain. Overcome with grief, Soo-hyun breaks down. Moments earlier, Kyung-chul had kidnapped a junior high school girl he was supposed to drop off. After she falls asleep on the bus, he takes her home and tries to assault her before he kills her. Fortunately, Soo-hyun is already there. He hears the screams and follows the sounds. Kyung-chul, hearing a noise, grabs a sickle and prepares to attack. Soo-hyun appears, and Kyung-chul suspects him to be a cop. He charges at Soo-hyun, but Soo-hyun swiftly dodges and subdues him. As Kyung-chul tries to escape, Soo-hyun knocks him out, wrapping a plastic sheet around his head to suffocate him and hitting his head against a stone. When Kyung-chul is knocked out, Soo-hyun lifts the stone to finish him off, but stops midway. He decides to make Kyung-chul suffer. He forces him to swallow the GPS tracking capsule so he can monitor his every move and listen in on his conversations. When Kyung-chul regains consciousness, he finds an envelope of cash on him. He laughs, cursing Soo-hyun and calling him a psycho. He tends to his wounds and prepares to flee, unaware that he has nowhere to hide. He flags down a taxi that already has a passenger, and the driver picks him up. A few miles down the road, Kyung-chul quickly senses that the driver and the passenger are intending to rob and murder him. One of them turns out to be the fourth serial killer suspect on Soo-hyun's list. Acting first, Kyung-chul moves in and kills them both. Afterwards, he discovers the body of the real taxi driver in the trunk. Without hesitation, he dumps the bodies and takes the car with him. Kyung-chul eventually arrives in a small village, where he gets medical treatment for his wounds. A young nurse enters the room and asks him to pick up his prescription. He starts flirting with her, making her visibly uncomfortable. Later, the nurse enters a room unaware that Kyung-chul, whom they thought had left, is inside. He locks the door and demands she strip. The nurse hesitates, pleading with him not to harm her, but her fear and hesitation only fuels his rage. He starts to force himself on her, but just as the situation escalates, Soo-hyun arrives, hitting Kyung-chul with a fire extinguisher. Kyung-chul grabs a weapon to fight back, but Soo-hyun overpowers him, beating him mercilessly. As the nurse begins to leave, Soo-hyun stops her, saying he'll need more treatment. He stabs a scalpel into Kyung-chul's foot, slashing his Achilles tendon. Soo-hyun abandons him in the taxi after treatment. Suspicious that Soo-hyun has planted a tracker on the car, Kyung-chul searches for it, but is unable to find anything. Chief Jang, having learned about Soo-hyun's recent actions, calls him. He tells Soo-hyun that the police believe he's chasing Jang Kyung-chul and are now keeping tabs on him. He pleads for Soo-hyun to stop, urging him to avoid further conflict. Joo-yeon's younger sister, Se-yoon, also talks to him, expressing her fear that his actions may put her in danger. She tells him that revenge won't bring her sister back, but Soo-hyun dismisses her, saying he has nothing to say to her. He disconnects the call, stating that his actions are worth it. Meanwhile, Kyung-chul visits his friend Tae-ju, his fellow cannibal and serial killer, who lives with his girlfriend Se-jung. Kyung-chul explains his situation to Tae-ju, who suggests that the person pursuing him must be related to one of his victims. Tae-ju laughs maniacally, mocking Kyung-chul. He tells him that he must have gone crazy from consuming too much human meat, which has driven him to kill incessantly. Tae-ju taunts him, saying that he couldn't even figure out which of his victims Soo-hyun is connected to. He comments that Soo-hyun is purposely torturing Kyung-chul and is enjoying it. Soo-hyun, who has been eavesdropping, is disgusted and enraged. Quietly, he enters the house. Kyung-chul hears Soo-hyun's footsteps from above and traces him. While hiding, Se-jung tries to attack Soo-hyun, but he knocks her out. Tae-ju then launches an attack, but is swiftly subdued by Soo-hyun, who repeatedly strikes him in the head. Soo-hyun hears Kyung-chul approaching and scatters fishing hooks on the floor. When Kyung-chul lunges towards him, the hooks prick him, causing him to fall. Soo-hyun attacks and beats Kyung-chul mercilessly, almost to the point of death, but he hesitates, still unwilling to kill him. The next day, Tae-ju and Se-jung are arrested by the police and sent to the hospital. Soo-hyun's trusted subordinate helps him and Kyung-chul evade the police, arranging for their treatment at a separate facility. Kyung-chul, now barely conscious, overhears Soo-hyun and his subordinate talking about the chip they implanted in him. Soo-hyun wonders if it's still in Kyung-chul's system. His colleague confirms it's still there. It can only come out if Kyung-chul has diarrhea, meaning he could excrete the chip. Once Soo-hyun leaves, Kyung-chul wakes up, heads to a pharmacy, and steals painkillers and laxatives. He begins taunting Soo-hyun, revealing that he knows who he is. He tells him he made the mistake of underestimating him. He promises to make Soo-hyun regret not killing him when he had the chance. He then reminds Soo-hyun that before he killed his fiancée, Ju-yeon told him she was pregnant. Kyung-chul exits the pharmacy, swallowing the laxative pills. He warns Soo-hyun to get to him quickly or the pharmacist will be dead. Soo-hyun arrives to find the pharmacist's throat slashed. He quickly applies a bandage to stop the bleeding. It's all a ploy to delay him. While Soo-hyun is occupied, Kyung-chul successfully excretes the chip in a public restroom. Afterward, he violently beats up a taxi driver and plants the tracker in him before fleeing with the man's taxi. When Soo-hyun arrives later, he finds the chip embedded in the strange man's body. Not knowing Kyung-chul's plan or whereabouts, Soo-hyun rushes to the hospital where Tae-ju is being held to question him. The psycho mocks Soo-hyun, telling him that Kyung-chul is going after Ju-yeon's family next. He explains that Kyung-chul likes to get even, and after finishing his work, he'll turn himself in to the police. Tae-ju laughs hysterically, which only infuriates Soo-hyun. Soo-hyun demands to know if he thinks it's funny, and then, in a fit of rage, tears Tae-ju's mouth wide open, giving him a grotesque, permanent smile. Soo-hyun's subordinate informs him that he's traced Kyung-chul's call and that he plans to turn himself in today, but not before carrying out one last act. Soo-hyun immediately heads to Chief Jang's house, driving recklessly like a man possessed. He calls Chief Jang at the same time Kyung-chul arrives at the gate, claiming to be a delivery man. Chief Jang ignores the call and decides to open the gate first. In desperation, Soo-hyun calls Chief Oh, warning him of the imminent danger and for him to dispatch his team to Chief Jang's house. Chief Oh is furious to learn that Soo-hyun is the one behind the recent chaos involving ex-convicts and other victims. Meanwhile, Kyung-chul has already infiltrated Chief Jang's home and violently attacks him, smashing his face with a dumbbell. Soon after, Ju-yeon's younger sister, Soo-yoon, returns home, only to be ambushed by Kyung-chul. He ties her up, places her in the back of the car, and escapes. Both the police and Soo-hyun arrive moments too late. Chief Oh, furious at him for endangering the family's lives, tries to prevent him from entering. However, seeing the bitterness and pain in Soo-hyun, he eventually allows him inside. There, Soo-hyun finds a gravely injured Chief Jang, who is on the verge of giving up. Soo-hyun holds his hand, emotions of pain, anger, and regret surging through him. Kyung-chul calls Chief Oh and demands to speak with Soo-hyun. Handing over the phone, Kyung-chul tells Soo-hyun that he shouldn't have messed with him. Meanwhile, the police soon discover Soo-yoon's body, discarded by Kyung-chul on the streets. Kyung-chul, now in town, exits his vehicle and surrenders himself, holding up a bloodied knife, seemingly just to end Soo-hyun's pursuit of vengeance. The police, watching, prepare to move in. But before they can act, Soo-hyun arrives, drives past the police with full speed, swiftly hijacking Kyung-chul. Soo-hyun drives Kyung-chul to his house, where he places him under a decapitation device. He tells Kyung-chul that he was right, he underestimated him, but that from now on, he will give him the treatment he deserves. Soo-hyun burns Kyung-chul with his cigarette, causing him to scream in pain and beg for death. Soo-hyun, tears welling in his eyes, imagines the countless victims who must have begged Kyung-chul for mercy, only for him to enjoy their suffering. Soo-hyun responds by stabbing a screwdriver into Kyung-chul's cheek, telling him he won't kill him yet. He promises to kill him at his most painful moment. Kyung-chul, however, continues to mock Soo-hyun, claiming that he doesn't know pain or fear. He taunts Soo-hyun, saying there's nothing he can take from him and that Soo-hyun has already lost. Soo-hyun leaves, dropping the tracking capsule beside Kyung-chul. He locks him in and leaves him holding a rope between his teeth to keep the blade from falling and severing his head. However, Kyung-chul has extended the rope to the door. Despite his bravado, Kyung-chul begins to panic when he hears the voices of his son and elderly parents outside. They find the door locked and begin to force it open, unaware of the grim situation inside. Kyung-chul protests, but they likely mistake the muffled sounds as a cry for help. As they force the door open, the blade falls and severs Kyung-chul's head. In the aftermath, Soo-hyun, now at a distance, hears the horrified screams of Kyung-chul's family through the transmitter he placed next to his head. With his revenge complete and the weight of his actions sinking in, Soo-hyun is overwhelmed by the haunting reminder that his love for Joo-yeon turned him into this monster. The cost of everything he's lost, the innocence, the humanity, the love, hits him all at once. Unable to hold it in any longer, Soo-hyun breaks down, sobbing uncontrollably. If you made it to the end, congrats. You survived a movie more brutal than most people's entire year. Now do me a favor. Smash that subscribe button before the algorithm slices this video in half like Kyung-chul under a guillotine. And if you want something just as intense but way more stylish, go watch Reign of Assassins 2010 next. It's a wuxia thriller with Michelle Yeoh slicing through assassins, secret identities, hidden corpses, and some of the cleanest sword choreography you'll ever see. It hits the perfect mix of romance, betrayal, martial arts action, and mystery. And trust me, the twists are chef's kiss. If you love the darkness and tension of I Saw the Devil, you'll love the elegance and blade-to-blade drama of this one.